I'm here at the European Parliament in Brussels to do a conversation with Catherine Bearder, who is the Liberal Democrat MEP for the South East of England. Now, Catherine, you have been the MEP for almost 10 years, and during that time you've championed debunking myths about the European Union and the function of the European Parliament. But it seems that those myths have prevailed and Brexit won. What went wrong?
Yes, I think we've had 40 years of misinformation and bile from the most ludicrous right-wing media that generally is owned by foreign businessmen. You know, it's always easier to sell hate than it is the good messages. And I think what we haven't been doing for all those years is to sell what is good about the EU. We've just taken it for granted. Things have got better, our life has got better. We accept the good things and we don't shout about those. The fact that our electrical goods are much safer, that our telephones work across the European Union, that our food is safer, it's the labelling we can trust. You know, you can buy a pot of yoghurt in Wandsworth and you can go to the other side of Greece and still buy the same yoghurt with the labelling that you can trust. All of those good things, you don't notice that. So it's much easier to sell the negative, and that really, with foreign owners of media that have been doing that's allowed the nationalists to come in and pander their lies.
What do you think are some of the biggest myths that have annoyed you most of all, that have really harmed the Remain movement?
The most absurd one that I get quite often is they say it to me: the European Union is not democratic. It's democratic. It's about as democratic as you do it. It's a darn sight better than having 800 politically appointed people in the House of Lords, 27 of whom are bishops, all men at the moment. We haven't been selling what the European Union does. We don't hear about the European Union. Yesterday in Parliament, we hear every day on the Radio 4. We never hear yesterday in the European Parliament. You know, all of that, we've been missing a trick for too many years and allowed the nationalists to grow and infect our political debate.
You did a passionate speech in Parliament of about a year ago saying you want your country back. Mm-hmm. We're going to watch it now.
The next speaker is Ms. Bearder.
The lies and blatant mistruths of the referendum campaign are crumbling before our eyes. They told us food prices would not rise. They have. They told us businesses would not move abroad. They are. They told us we were scaremongering. We were not. 16 million Brits did not say they wanted to leave the European family. Those who did won't be fooled again by the false promises from nationalists. This month of May, the British people will send a message to Mrs May in local elections and the Westminster seat of Manchester Gorton. That message reads loud and clear: you lied to us. We are angry and we want our country back. It belongs inside the European Union. As a Liberal Democrat, I will continue to fight against Brexit and to give the people a final say on the deal. I am proud of this House uniting with a positive but firm resolution. It is fair, it is just, and it is very European. And if the deal goes badly, the British people will welcome the chance to revoke Brexit and Article 50 and vote to remain. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
So what was the reaction to your speech?
I received enormous support, not just in social media and people that watched it, but also from colleagues here in the Parliament. I just don't understand this simplistic phrase, and of course it doesn't mean anything really, but it was sold a lot during the referendum campaign. I want my country back, as if it's gone somewhere else. Its elected representatives have been working hard on our country's behalf. Once we leave, we won't have that influence, that part of evolving and driving the direction of the European Union. That will be lost. And for me, that breaks my heart, that the future generations, my kids, my grandchildren, my neighbours, will not be able to be part of deciding the direction and improving the European Union. We will be isolated, shut out behind the doors.
Now, I understand you got a lot of hits for that
Mm.
on YouTube, but no television. I don't suppose any broadcaster in
When
Britain
have you ever
broadcast it.
seen the television report the European Parliament?
Only when Nigel Farage is giving a speech.
Well, isn't that interesting? Well, yeah, they didn't report all the marches we had a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there were thousands and thousands of people from Edinburgh right down to Exeter were out there marching. Not one picture on the BBC.
Now, we're on the road to Brexit. We're destined to leave on the 29th of March next year. We'll maybe have an interim period, but we would have left. Do you think Brexit can be stopped?
Absolutely, it can be stopped. And I think that's the message I'd like to get out. It is possible to stop it. It has to be done democratically. This started with the people. We have to be able to say, they were asked the question, do you want to leave or stay? It was as simplistic as that. I think we have to go back and we have to say to those people, this is not a done deal. This is your choice. Is this the deal that you thought you were going to get? And you can change your mind if you want to. Lots of people do change their mind. Even Mrs. May has changed her mind. And for me, that's a really important point that we should be saying. It can be stopped. It ought to be stopped, in my view, but if the Brexiteers think they've still got a good case that we're taking us to the sunny uplands, they shouldn't be frightened of another vote, should they?
And finally, what's your message to half the country, maybe more than half the country now, who regret that we're going on this road to Brexit? And let's face it, 2 out of the 4 countries of our union in the United Kingdom don't want Brexit. What's your message to them? What should people be doing?
My message is Brexit is not inevitable. We can stop this, but we need the voices to come from the streets. We need people to be saying, this is not what we voted for, and to be talking to their MPs, visiting their MPs, writing to the newspaper, ringing up the local media, and making that voice loud and clear. And like they marched a couple of weeks ago, eventually the BBC will have to report the fact that people are on the streets demanding that they are listened to and that they demand a vote on the deal. I have a hashtag, give us a say, Mrs. May. That's what I'm asking for.
Catherine Bearder, thank you very much.